Favorite row definitely would have to be the Hermès row. And this one here is really special. If my house was on fire, I would take this one out of all of them.
I was like, Coach, did you draw mommy's purse?
Literally spent $60,000 on this purse. Look what my daughter did to my purse.
Luxury bags carefully handcrafted in China. The viral TikToks from Chinese factory workers, the internet is now in a frenzy over claims that some of the most iconic designer bags are actually born in the East.
Got a lot of requests, do Hermes next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
Made in China. Or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way.
The luxury dream might be dead, and Kylie Jenner just lit the match. In an era where $20,000 handbags and $1,500 sandals define status, a single viral TikTok is threatening to rip the glossy mask off the fashion elite. Behind the velvet ropes and champagne launches, what if the truth is far more industrial and far less glamorous? Because now, influencers, fashion insiders, and actual factory workers are stepping forward with proof that your favorite made-in-France luxury pieces may have never even seen Europe. And just when the story couldn't get more explosive, Kylie Jenner jumped in. Not with a campaign, not with a PR deal, with a comment that left fans and brands scrambling. So, what's really going on behind the scenes of the $380 billion luxury empire? And why are even celebrities calling foul? Stick with us, because what you're about to hear might make you rethink every designer tag in your closet. It started like many revolutions do now, with a TikTok. A quiet video, just a few minutes long, filmed by a Chinese factory worker claiming that the high-end luxury brands the world worships, Hermès, Gucci, Prada, Fendi, Chanel, aren't exactly making their goods in European ateliers. No dramatic music, no flashing titles, just a raw, unfiltered confession.
Hermes will charge you 38,000 USD for one bag. That's because more than 90% of the price is paid for its logo. But if you do not care about the logo, you just want the same quality, same material.
He claimed the very factories making knockoffs were also producing the real thing. Same materials, same workers, different price tags. And worse, the items were being boxed and labeled Made in France, only to be shipped to luxury storefronts worldwide. Other creators began to chime in. More factory workers, more footage, assembly lines, piles of logo-stamped bags, tags and dust bags being attached by the hundreds. It felt like pulling the curtain back on The Wizard of Oz and realizing there was no magic at all. The videos blew up, millions of views, tens of thousands of comments. Shoppers began comparing their $20,000 Hermès Birkins to cheaper versions and couldn't spot the difference. TikTok had ignited something the fashion industry had desperately tried to bury.
So Hermes has put out a response to China, and they have like a video in a factory sort of showing people trying to show that they're actually the ones who are making the bags in a factory somewhere in France.
She put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
Then Kylie Jenner did something nobody expected. She broke the silence. Underneath one of the viral TikToks showing a Chinese factory worker assembling luxury handbags, Kylie dropped a bombshell comment. Hermès should just show videos of how everything is made to clear it up. If they weren't hiding anything, it wouldn't be hard to just show us how it's made. It was short, director, and absolutely damning. Coming from Kylie, who's built an entire image around luxury, exclusivity, and high-end fashion, this wasn't just a fan comment. This was a statement, and fans noticed. Some praised her courage, others accused her of hypocrisy. Aren't you the same person selling $300 lip kits and flexing your Hermes collection? One user snapped, but the damage was already done. Kylie's comment pulled the conversation out of TikTok's echo chamber and into mainstream culture. If even Kylie was suspicious of the luxury system, then who could really trust it?
Favorite row definitely would have to be the Hermès row, and this one here is really special. If my house was on fire, I would take this one out of all of them.
Wow! Ooh, okay, girl!
luxury fashion is more than just shopping, it's an empire, one valued at over $380 billion globally. But something's wrong. In 2024, the market slipped by 2%, a tiny number on the surface, but for an industry this size, it's a warning siren. And the biggest shock, the collapse came from China. Once making up nearly 50% of all luxury buyers, Chinese consumers now represent only 12%. Young, wealthy shoppers, once obsessed with European prestige, are turning their backs on Hermès, Prada, and Chanel in favor of local brands that offer equal craftsmanship at a fraction of the cost. And now, with the truth leaking about how these luxury goods are manufactured, that shift is turning into a full-on exodus. TikTok wasn't just a trending topic, it was an alarm bell, and the world heard it loud and clear. The accusations weren't vague. One factory owner stepped forward and boldly claimed 80% of Gucci bags? Made in our factory. 60% of Prada? Right here, in China. And Hermes? Let's just say the legendary Birkin is no longer untouchable. These whistleblowers didn't just talk, they showed us. Footage of production lines, rolls of signature fabrics, stacks of packaging materials with brand logos, products labeled Made in France but created half a world away. Even more damning, side-by-side comparisons began circulating. One $25,000 Birkin versus a $300 replica. Same stitching, same hardware, same design. No difference, except the price and the perception. Fans felt duped. They weren't paying for quality, they were paying for status fiction. Then came the bombshell. Tanner Leatherstein.
I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
He's not just a TikTok personality, he's a leather expert, a whistleblower, and a total nightmare for luxury brands. Tanner built a following by doing the unthinkable, cutting open designer bags, live on camera, and showing the world what's really inside. He exposed Chanel for swapping real gold for plastic-coated metals. He tore apart Louis Vuitton and revealed stitching so cheap it wouldn't last a year. And when he turned his scalpel on Hermès, what he found shocked everyone. The supposed $38,000 Birkin cost $600 to make, and that included high-quality leather and hardware. No gold, no precious gems, just good marketing. He dissected dozens of bags. His verdict? Most were expensive disappointments dressed in branding. And that branding was hiding one very uncomfortable truth. You're not paying for craftsmanship. You're paying for illusion. Luxury once stood for confidence, for certainty, for something you could trust without question. But now, luxury is being questioned at every level. And Hermès, the crown jewel of the fashion elite, is facing a crisis it never saw coming. When the leaked factory videos started to go viral, people expected a swift response, some reassurance, some explanation, a firm denial at the very least. But instead, Hermès went silent. No press conference, no detailed statement, no visual proof of French ateliers crafting those $25,000 Birkins. No behind-the-scenes footage of artisans carefully hand-stitching the handles, polishing the hardware, or inspecting the seams. Just silence. And that silence, it was louder than any denial could have been. Because in 2025, silence is no longer seen as caution. It's seen as guilt. The internet didn't wait. TikTok exploded with accusations. Instagram Reels mocked the brand's supposed handmade legacy. Reddit forums lit up with buyer remorse, with luxury collectors confessing that they suddenly felt scammed. Influencers, who once flaunted unboxings like trophies, suddenly started deleting videos, removing brand tags, quietly distancing themselves from the same company they used to worship. Even luxury stylists, those who built careers around fashion status, began to whisper behind the scenes. If Hermès lied about this, what else are they hiding? The emotional backlash went beyond brand perception. It became personal. People don't just buy luxury to own things. They buy it to feel something, to feel important, to feel elite, to feel part of a world that others can't access. But when that illusion cracks, when you realize the price you paid was for a myth, you don't just feel disappointed. You feel foolish, and that's the kind of betrayal money can't fix. Reputation in the luxury world isn't built on ads, it's built on aura. Hermes crafted theirs masterfully. For over a century, they positioned themselves as the gatekeepers of refinement, as curators of class, as the final word in tasteful exclusivity. They told stories, they spun legends. They whispered tales of ancient workshops and multi-generational artisans in pristine French towns who spent weeks crafting a single handbag. And we believed them. Until now, because when you peel back the brand gloss and uncover Chinese mass production lines, when the same bags sold for $25,000 are being made in the same facilities as $250 replicas, something shatters. And it's not just the fantasy, it's reputation. Buyers don't feel proud of their purchase anymore. They feel played, some feel angry, others feel embarrassed. All feel cheated. They start to wonder, what did I actually pay for? Was it really handmade? Did I just buy a lie dressed in leather? One viral TikTok said it best. I thought I was investing in timeless craftsmanship. Turns out I just bought the most expensive dupe of my life. The result? A free fall, one that no PR team can stop. And the worst part? Luxury thrives on loyalty. But once that loyalty breaks, it rarely returns. When Kylie Jenner speaks, the world listens. But when she stays silent, it listens even harder. Kylie wasn't just a fan of Hermès, she was practically a walking ad. Her Instagram was once a curated showroom of Birkin stacks, exotic leathers, and rare colorways. Until she stopped, until the bags disappeared from her grid, until the tags vanished, until she began subtly favoring other brands, until she liked one post, just one, mocking overpriced luxury that lies about its roots. And the internet noticed. People started speculating immediately. Was she distancing herself from Hermès? Did she know something we didn't? Was she trying to protect her brand before the wave of backlash hit? The moment Kylie Jenner pulled away, millions followed. Resale listings of Hermès bags spiked overnight. Luxury YouTubers posted hour-long deep dives with titles like, "Why Kylie Might Have Just Ended Hermès." Even fashion forums labeled her actions the pivot point of this entire scandal. Because Kylie isn't just a celebrity, she's a barometer. If she's out, something's wrong. And when someone with her influence begins to question the brand she once elevated, that's not fashion, that's an earthquake. The old rules are dead. In the past, the luxury playbook was simple. Hide the truth, spin the narrative, build mystique, but that world doesn't exist anymore. Not in the age of receipts, camera phones, and 15-second viral exposés. Today's buyers aren't chasing mystique, they're chasing meaning. They want to know where things are made, how they're made, who made them, and under what conditions. They want ethics, not elitism. They want value, not vanity. They want brands that speak truth, not just sell dreams. And that's the reckoning Hermès is now facing. Because this scandal didn't just reveal a crack in one brand, it tore open an entire industry's carefully constructed facade. And what's underneath? Exploitation, outsourcing, deception, and a shocking lack of accountability. If luxury can no longer guarantee trust, then it's no longer luxury. It's just another overpriced product wrapped in prestige marketing. The question now isn't, will Hermès survive? It's, will luxury ever mean the same thing again? It started with a whisper, then a TikTok, then a global firestorm. Kylie Jenner backing off, influencers deleting tags, buyers demanding refunds, and Hermès still silent. But that silence isn't protection anymore. It's evidence. This is bigger than a scandal. It's a cultural shift. Because when people realize a $25,000 bag was built the same way as a $100 knockoff, it's not just Hermès that loses. It's the entire idea of luxury. This scandal has forced a generation to ask brutal questions. What am I really paying for? Is this just status cosplay? Have I been lied to all along? And now that the illusion is broken, there's no putting it back together. People are no longer buying just for the logo. They want the truth. They demand proof. And they won't settle for pretty lies anymore. This is the unraveling. The thread that started with Hermès is now pulling apart the whole luxury tapestry. So here's the final question. Will you still buy designer goods knowing what you know now? Or has the spell finally been broken? For good?